Hello, and welcome back to the FTR podcast.
We haven't recorded in a while, have we?
We had a week off. Things happened. We were both busy. There's only been 1 week in between the episodes.
Felt like it was longer than that.
I know. But that's because we had a week off before that too, Georgia. We need to fix it up. We need to fix it up. But yeah, we're back. Return of the Mac. Hopefully we do better than Macklemore's career did. Well, I mean, even his level of success I would take. I would take it.
Yeah, the money that he's made.
But there's been a lot. There's a lot of stuff which happened the week before. We won't really cover any of that. We're just covering
what happened this past week.
Exactly, because I doubt any of you want to watch a 3-hour long video about us chatting about football. I'm sure Giorgio would hate to edit a 3-hour long video.
Yes. So, please no.
Unless it's on the Serie A, then he's going to say yes.
Maybe. But let's start covering. We are recording the day after Champions League happened, so I think we're gonna just
we're recording on the
talk
Thursday.
a little bit about the Premier League teams, how they've done in the Champions League, and just a couple of thoughts.
Champions League's weird. It's really weird. I don't understand how the qualifying thing works. I'll be real with you.
It's not that hard. So the first 8 go through.
I know that, and then the playoff ones, I don't get it.
It's like
because from what I'm seeing, right, there's 2 teams on one side, 2 teams on the other, and then it shows as if there's only one space out of the 4, but it's not. It's out of the 2, I think.
Yeah, no, there's only so there's. I think there's 4 that then go through. After the playoff.
See, I don't know, because I looked at
because there is no. Wait.
I don't get it.
Oh crap!
Because I looked at the Champions League app, and I looked at the bracket thing, and it showed. I think it was. I can't remember who it was going up against City, but it was City, the person who they're going up against. Then it was Real Madrid
1, 2, 3,
and
4,
Bayern
5,
Munich,
6,
and then it was
7,
either
8.
Arsenal or Inter Milan.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was the Italian one. Sorry, not that.
So these 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, they play each other, right? And then the ones that win, they play against each other. I don't know if you can see it, but probably.
But then, when you look at the round of 16, click on round of 16 because it's already half populated. See,
yeah,
it's Arsenal and Inter Milan versus, which is where I get confused.
So it's Arsenal versus one of either 13, 14, 19 or 20, and then Inter Milan one from 13, 14, 19, 20.
Okay. But I thought that's really weird.
Yeah. I actually did not want Arsenal and Inter Milan to play against each other.
Exactly.
But if they actually go through the next one, that's going to be Arsenal against Inter Milan, and that's going to be a really exciting. I think, you know what we should do? We should actually record us reacting to the match and we watch it together.
Should we just live stream it?
I think we could. We'll decide later.
Yeah, we'll decide. Depends on if we're both free. I mean, for all I know, I could be working.
Cool. All right. So let's start with.
But all the England teams have done really well to get where they have, apart from Man City. City are the odd ones out. They're the little boy in the corner going, "I like to sniff butt crack." You know what I mean? Everyone else is normal. I don't know what you're talking about here. Villa have done really, really well. Liverpool
well done.
Finished top, apart from last night, which
did they win last night or
no,
did they lost? They played bench players or
that's what I'm saying. I didn't know that, and I saw they'd lost. I was like, yeah. And then I watched the highlights, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Chiesa.
Did you not see, 2 days before they released the players that were not going to go play, and it's everybody from the first squad. I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's fair play. When you're at that point, it's like, hey, we're guaranteed qualified. First place makes no difference. Obviously, you know who you're going up against, but the players who you'll be going up against, it's random at that point because anything can happen in the middle of the pack. At one point, City were out. Ooh. I wanted them to be. But the interesting thing is now we know Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, huge match. And then it's whoever... If Real Madrid win... And then Man City win. They've got Real Madrid and Man City again.
It's going to be amazing.
And the thing is, Real Madrid, they've turned it up recently. They struggled towards the start of the season, which they usually do. But this Champions League format goes against the classic Real Madrid.
Which, I mean, it's good.
It's good. It's interesting. They've won it more times than anyone else, so they can lay off it for a little bit. Give Arsenal a chance.
I hope that Inter Milan is going to win it this season. Like, they're not going to win it.
I hope Arsenal do, but we're not. I'm just praying.
I see Barcelona winning it again.
I do, actually. Like, phenomenal, how they play. Did you see
in the changing room, they've got the sign said 2025 ? With all the trophies? It's hilarious.
Hansi Flick is a great manager, and it's one of those. Obviously, they've faded in and out at different points of the season, but that's what every team does, especially when it's his first season in charge. He's a great manager, though. He's doing a great job, and Barcelona.
Anybody could win it with this format of what happened, yesterday.
I mean, anyone can get through to the round of 16 as well. I'd say.
As of right now, there's so many random teams like Liverpool, Barcelona, Arsenal, Inter Milan, expected.
Atletico Madrid you expect to get through.
Yeah.
They would usually finish first or second in their group.
Leverkusen, it's only recently, but Lille and Aston Villa,
it's one of those. Villa really did
against Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, Dortmund, Man City, There's a lot of there's a lot of big and good teams who are in those sort of playoff positions, but you look at all of them and you have to say that they've had tough starts to the season, at least in the Champions League. Milan have just not been good. AC Milan, sorry. Oh, thank you.
Don't worry, I got you. And then you've got Man City, who've been poor. Real Madrid, who were poor at the start of the season. They're getting better though, 100%. I'm not going to deny that. Mbappe got his first hat trick, I think, on the weekend for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I'm in danger.
That boy.
But it's you've seen these teams and they are playing better. They're getting better, and it's something to take note of. These teams who are going up against them is going to be difficult, but
it's sad to see that Inter Milan. I mean, it's not sad, but it's good that Inter Milan is the only Italian team that actually went through, and it's sad to see Bologna just getting kicked out.
Yeah,
Champions League back, but without Calafiori, what can they do?
Oh, what a player! What a player! He's so attacking.
We're going to talk about it.
I know. Because yesterday he scored an offside goal. And it's just the fact that he's there, and he not make the keeper for it too.
I mean, I didn't watch it because I was watching.
I know. But don't worry, my little boo-boo bear.
So let's talk about this very briefly. The Inter Milan match. Have you seen the highlights?
Yeah.
Right. So in the first half, after they scored the first goal,
the red card.
No, before the red card, 3 penalties were not given back to back. And I was just fuming. But then they scored 3 goals.
What, two Internazionale?
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't show any of those on the highlights, at all.
Rubbish.
But it's British highlights though. You got to understand they don't care about the Italian teams. They're just okay, Inter Milan's okay, move on.
But yeah, the red card, I was yes.
Yeah, it was just stupid from the defender. But back to the Premier League action.
Yes. Sorry, let's.
Our Champions League rounds up short and brief. Premier League.
Let's start in chronological order. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest.
Tottenham Forest. You tried so hard.
Nottingham Forest 5-0 to Bournemouth.
What?
I think we should just give a round of applause to Bournemouth right now, and then we'll talk.
Okay.
What a performance!
Wow.
What a performance!
As Barter would say, wow, wow, wee, wow. Honestly, phenomenal from them. And I mean, they couldn't ask for much more. 5-0 against someone who people were saying, they could be title challengers, Well,
they still can.
Oh,
but
yeah.
still,
don't get me wrong,
Bournemouth has
they're
had
the long shot, but still.
Bournemouth has had their best season ever, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
they're 7th.
If you're a
they're
Bournemouth
challenging
fan,
for Europe.
You're thriving. You're thriving right now, Bournemouth. You've got Semenyo, you've got Kluivert, you've got, what's his name? That young kid who just does the I'm a chill guy. He's got some I'll be able to find him on the lineups. It's not Hutchinson. Where is he? He'll be on the bench at least. No, I think it might be Hutchinson. I don't know. He scores, then he does the I'm just a chill guy, hands in his pockets, and then it's okay, man. I swear it's not. No, I'm tripping.
I don't know.
I'm tripping. It must be. I don't know. But yeah, they've got some really good players in that squad who are talented, good footballers, and Nottingham Forest just weren't prepared for it. I mean, Nottingham Forest's style is very much so a counter-attack. No, it's counter-attack.
Brexit football.
Now, Brexit ball is hoof it long, son. And they don't just hoof it long. They run, they dribble. They've got some good footballers in there, good tactics.
Yeah, I agree. But it's just one of those that maybe like they just slipped one match. It's like what happened to Liverpool at the beginning when Forest beat them like 5-0 as well, I think it was. And then they were like, oh, let's dominate.
Forest beat them like 1-0.
Who did they lose again? Like
what, Liverpool?
Yeah.
Forest.
No, they lost against somebody else like 6-0. Oh no, wait, this is not this season. I'm getting so
He's chipping balls, guys. Don't worry.
It was like last season or 2 seasons ago, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't this season.
Oh my god.
I was about to say, I would remember. I promise you there.
But yeah, so, it's not as much of a defeat, but still, like, they're still third.
It definitely takes a knock to them, and I think what we'll see from Forest this weekend will be the real defining moment of them this season, because a lot of people are looking at this as a one-off season, and it very much so could be. We don't know. We're not fortune tellers. We can't see the future, and I think after a result like this, their season will be defined on the next match. If they can bounce back and you get the business done, then all is forgiven, all is calm, all is bright.
Yeah, I know. I think that's what's going to happen anyway. Coming from somebody that said that they will get relegated this season at the beginning of the season.
Honestly, though, I wanted to say something. As of last weekend, obviously the results, we haven't got through all of them yet. But I wanted to say this to Giorgio, but obviously we weren't able to record because of scheduling. Newcastle top 4. I told you.
Oh, yeah, we spoke about this off camera, yeah.
I told you.
Right now,
No. We're going chronological. So, as of the time of what results we were getting through, they were top 4. And I was very happy about that because I said that and I said, look, the reason why they struggled so much last season was because of injuries. They're not going to have that again. And they didn't. And then they're challenging for top 4. And I think they could get it.
They got Sandro.
And I hope they do.
They got Sandro Tonali back. So...
They're our cousins.
Well, it's just a player. It's not.
I know.
Even if he comes from AC Milan, he's one of the.
He's doing well there now and everything, and yeah. But anyway, we're not going to cover.
Who are we giving the round of applause to?
You know what?
Ouattara.
Yeah, Ouattara. He's got a hat trick. Of course, we're going to give it to him. Ouattara. But the whole team. Obviously, we gave them all a round of applause. That includes manager, medical staff.
I want to buy a Bournemouth shirt now. Just why not?
Who would you get on the back?
Nobody. Just. What are you doing? I got too much.
I want to be a reporter.
Semenyo.
Wow, what a player! Back to you, Jeff.
Right. Brighton, Everton, 1-0. Okay.
The first controversial thing happened in this match. We'll get to it. I'll mention it. I'll mention it when I feel appropriate.
Okay. I don't know what to say. I'm very surprised about Everton. I said that they will get relegated, and now with the new management, it's like, ooh.
So for those who do not know, my brother is an Everton supporter. I've got 2 brothers. One's Liverpool, one's Everton. Don't make it make sense, please. But I said to the Everton supporter, I was like, you've got your Everton back, mate. After I watched that Tottenham match, and I'm right. Like, they're playing good football. I know in this match it was difficult. It was a 1-0. It wasn't the greatest.
And Brighton is a good team anyway. So
Brighton's a good team. Yeah, they go up and down with results and stuff. But well done, Everton. Getting those... You need those points. Especially because you don't know if other teams are going to have a run of form or something like that. And then that brings you into jeopardy. Doesn't matter about the other teams. You get those points, you stay up, you do well. And I think David Moyes has shown he can do the business. And especially with their buyout. If their buyout happens and they're able to sign some players in the summer, Everton will go right back up to mid-table. If not, maybe even challenging for Europe. Ooh, zing!
He's back!
He's back!
Yeah, there's not much to cover about this match because I think it was a bit of boring.
The controversy, which I don't like. Njai scored the penalty, and he did a little seagull flap.
Oh.
He got a yellow for it. Game's gone. The game is gone. I'm sorry. I don't care about the rules.
Why would he get a yellow for just a celebration?
Because apparently it's meant to like incite the fans, and it's like, I'm not being funny. How dumb are you? Like, it's a good bit of fun. People in the stands are going to be effing and jeffing at him all match, and he can't do a little flap of the arms after he scores.
It might be. It might not be a seagull. It just might be.
It will be a seagull.
It's eagle. A pterodactyl.
But it's one of those. It's like it's what makes football good. You hate it when it's against your team, but it's part of
just
football.
Fun.
It's beautiful. And I mean, I saw someone online talking about it, and they were saying like, why are players allowed to make gun signs and shoot at the crowd?
Yes.
But you can't flap your arms like you're a bird to mock them. None of them are a seagull. People get shot every day.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? Phil Foden go. Which I think is a good celebration. I like it. Even though he frustrates me, I like it. If you do it with enough swagger and enough power, then it's like, whoa. But it's one of those. It's harmless.
It's very, very...
And this one flew under the radar because there's a much worse refereeing decision later on, which everyone will be aware of by now. That's not funny about. Everyone knows about it. But there's a much worse refereeing decision coming up. But
who are we giving the round of applause for this match?
Injai.
Probably, yeah.
I love that man. He's so exciting. If Arsenal was like 2, maybe 3 years ago, I'd take him in a heartbeat, and I'd be very excited about it.
Oh, okay.
Man United should look at him.
Man United are signing somebody from Italy.
Yeah, the left wing back.
And he's going to
Dorgu, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's...
Dorgu, something like that.
Yeah. And apparently, he's going to... So his transfer fee is going to pay 2 years worth of all the players' contracts or something else. Because they're paying so much for him that Lecce is just like... We just got 2 seasons ago back up in Serie A, and now all the players are not worth that much. So it's good for them.
Man United are just desperate for that type of player. But anyway...
Liverpool, Ipswich, 4-1. I mean, to be expected. Nothing else to say.
I was really hoping that there'd be something going awry in this match. As an Arsenal fan would. I was like, please.
Respect for Ipswich actually scoring a goal last minute, just not giving up. It's like, one goal is one goal.
It's one of those, like, Ipswich, you're one of the favourites to go down, but it's good that you've still got a bit of fight in you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, with Liverpool, as soon as they got that 1-0, you just knew what was going to happen. If Liverpool go up against you, it's game over. Game over, man. Game over. And they did really well. Salah again with a goal, and then Gakpo. He does well.
I really do think they can win it.
Yeah, they can, definitely. They're top of the league.
Yeah, but you that's deluded and self-aware fan that is like, oh, no, actually Arsenal is going to win it. But I do think that they're actually going to win it. And they could even win the Champions League, in my opinion.
Bear in mind, in a week's time, when we're sat here recording, Liverpool could be in a position where Arsenal are only 3 points behind them, no game in hand, and Arsenal have had this poor of a season.
No, they have a game in hand.
But within a week, because next midweek, Wednesday is when they play Everton. So if they lose both, or even if they draw and lose one, that's 4 points.
It could happen. I mean, with Everton playing really well, they could, and it's like,
I know this is a time when I would want to play them. I'm like, I'm okay, thank you very much.
It's just like, but it's going to be fiery.
It's going to be a good Merseyside derby again. Finally, instead of just one team, Everton bending over and saying, "Be gentle."
3 points.
3 points? Question mark. Make it fun for me. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's not been a proper derby in a while, so it'd be nice if they step up for that. But it's one of those. Arsenal have had such a poor season, poor results going their way, like that sort of stuff.
Arsenal,
so many injuries. Yeah, and think about it.
But
could be 3
points
behind them in a month.
That's been happening for like 3 years now, where there's so many injuries, there's so many poor results.
With Arsenal?
Yeah, last season we had loads of injuries.
Who?
Arsenal.
There wasn't loads of injuries last season. We didn't have Saka injured. We didn't have Odegaard injured. We didn't get Saliba injured.
This season you have.
I know, that's why we're hurting. The spine of the team's injured this time, and it's difficult to replace.
But yeah, anyway, I don't know. I mean, if Liverpool wins it, I'm not bothered. It's like, fair play. It's not Salah's last season to actually,
I just don't want Liverpool.
I'm happy for him because he's a good player. I just wouldn't be bothered. Like, I would be bothered if Man City will win it again.
Yes.
Or Man United would just climb back up at the top, with which they will not do.
Nothing would be worse. Gotta be Man United fans. And don't worry, I'm self-aware.
If Arsenal wins it, it's like, oh, nice, finally. Like,
if Arsenal win it, I would be so happy. We'd be going down for the trophy parade in London.
Okay.
If I'm at work, I might just conveniently be ill that day. I'll be real.
Just get a sick day.
I've not a single one yet, so it'd be worth it.
In how long have you been working for the company?
Over a year.
Over a year, so yeah, you're chilling.
But that's if we win, of course. And
if you win, yeah. But who are we giving the round of applause to for this one? I'd say Gakpo.
Yeah, I mean he's performing really well, and he's making it a hair pull of a decision as to who to start between him and Nunes, because I think it's between those two. But Gakpo plays better on the left. Did he play on the left in this match?
I think so.
Yeah, he did. Gakpo, he just plays a lot better on the left, and for me, I think Liverpool need a striker, and I think, controversial opinion, I think Victor Gyökeres is built for Liverpool.
So you wouldn't want to see him at Arsenal? Yeah,
I would, exactly. And I'd be very jealous. But I think when I look at him and I think of him at Liverpool, I'm like, that should make sense.
Yeah, but
it's one of those ones. I want him. Don't get me wrong.
If you want to challenge him, you would not send him to Liverpool. Oh, you would.
I'm not saying it'd be my choice.
I know. I'm just saying, it would be interesting to see him at Arsenal. We're gonna talk about transfer.
Don't worry, we will
in a second about Arsenal, because I'm really interested. We'll talk about it yesterday, but let's give Gakpo a round of applause.
Next up,
Southampton Newcastle 3-1, 1-3 actually. Southampton
3-1. You always start with the winning. Don't worry, I got you, baby.
Because
friendship.
I get zing. I get hammered every time I say 3-1.
By who?
Everybody else that knows football. No, because they played in Southampton, so you should say their result first.
Every single one of them. You know what you're going to do from now on? Give me a ring, and I'll verbally abuse them. I'll be like, you flipping muppet.
By the way, I love Newcastle's kit. I said it already, but their kit is pang.
Not for me.
I don't care. I love it. Anyway, Southampton, I'm so sorry. You're going down. Newcastle.
Southampton scored first, though, and I thought, whoa, something could happen here. And then as soon as I thought Isak scored, I was like, never mind.
They scored after 16 minutes.
What a player Isak is. He's really, really good.
And then Tonali back on the goal. Yes.
You just love Italians, don't you?
Yes, of course, because they're going to be good in
international tournaments.
Yeah, exactly. We want Italy again in the World Cup. They're not going to win it, but if they do, if
England get knocked out early, I wouldn't mind supporting Italy with you.
But now you've got a different manager.
Oh, I believe we could. I believe we could. The belief's back. He's a winner. Exactly. He's a tournament manager. Exactly. We've got world-class players. Let's go!
Exactly. So
just don't start Harry Kane, please.
Yeah, he's going to start Ollie Watkins instead, in my opinion.
I beg he does, because Ollie Watkins is fast, he's good, he's agile.
He's right. Last summer, he's played much, much better than Harry Kane. Harry Kane has only scored on 2 occasions, if I remember correctly, and both of them were penalties.
So, and Ollie Watkins scored from open play. You kept saying he's a good player and he makes those runs in behind, which is what you need, depending on who you're starting in that front three. But this isn't the England show, which, if it's an international tournament, if you want the England show, we can do that.
10 likes. We'll do that.
1 like, and we'll do that. Give me my phone, quick.
But yeah, Newcastle, just to be expected. And as Daniel mentioned earlier on, yeah, they might get top 4, and I wouldn't mind them doing that because they're a good team. I just like Aston Villa more.
Oh, I don't like Aston Villa, but obviously it's obvious why.
You don't like McGee.
I don't like McGinn because he's just a bit of a rat, but then I don't like how they've got an ex-Arsenal goalkeeper, ex-Arsenal manager, and they're doing well. It doesn't fit right with me. Well, honestly, if it was just an ex-Arsenal manager and ex-Arsenal goalkeeper, I'd be okay. But it's the fact that the goalkeeper slagged us off as soon as he left for no reason. It's like, okay, we're the ones who just gave you game time and got you to fruition and had you with us from the get-go, but that's okay. And then the manager was crap with us, so it's like, I don't want to see him doing well with somebody else because that makes us look bad.
But
it's completely biased.
It's completely
biased. It's completely biased.
But I love them. They just, gas me when the keeper, Martinez, is just like, oh,
he's such a rat.
Yes.
I hate him.
Who are we giving the round of applause? I give it
has to be Isak.
I give it to Tonali. just ruined my round of applause. I'll do it again.
This is for you, Isak. It was a burp that I did, by the way, not a. But I'm guessing you couldn't burp.
I couldn't burp.
You couldn't burp. I wish I could burp on command. That'd be so cool.
Newcastle Wolves.
Newcastle Wolves.
Newcastle. Arsenal
Wolves.
Oh
Arsenal
gosh.
Wolves. Let's get into it. So I watched
It wasn't
this
a
match.
red card.
Yeah, never. I'm sorry, Michael Oliver. I want to make this very clear, very, very, very clear. I do not believe these conspiracy theories, which people are saying, like the PGMOL. They've got a dartboard with Arsenal's entire team on there, which they just throw out day in, day out. No, because everyone gets poor decisions. What I firmly believe is that they do have a bias towards some teams. Naturally, that's what happens. And I think in the case of Michael Oliver, the reason why it's so clear is because he's the senior ref, and there's other refs who might be scared of it or whatever. And then they're in VAR, and they're like, oh, Michael Oliver's seen as the best referee in England. Oh, do I really tell him it's not a red? Oh, no. You know what I mean? It's like, grow a pair of balls, man, and tell him, hey, that's never a red. What, you smoking? You were right next to it. Have a bit of it out with him. And we don't see that because referees are terrible. Terrible. And I just want to see him gone.
You finished?
No. I'm only just beginning. But yeah, and it's one of those, I feel very tired of the fact that every weekend, this weekend
there
was
is
two.
a controversial decision and whatever. Yeah, I completely understand. But
it's like Champions League. You mentioned, there were some penalties which there should be a shout for.
Yeah, but Champions League is different. We're just talking about England.
In Champions League, there's like, you don't even see one a week when there's matches on. You're like, it's once every blue moon. You're like, that's a bit controversial. But it's like, well, because it's only one in a blue moon. In England, it's every week. That's why people are so frustrated.
No, I completely agree with you. I completely understand. It's very frustrating. Let's be honest. It's just frustrating.
Yeah. Like if we didn't get those reds, we would be at the moment top of the league, mathematically.
But yeah, but
we lost to Brighton. We lost to Brighton. We would have won that match.
Yeah. Who got sent off? White or
Declan Rice?
Declan Rice, yeah.
And then we got Trossard sent off against City, which would have been a win. We would literally be either like 2 points off or top of the league if some of these decisions were normal. Which I know some people will be saying, and this will be the argument against me, is but those are the rules. How come these rules come in only when Arsenal play? And we don't see it again unless Arsenal are playing. Like you see people volley a ball halfway across the pitch when it's like a free kick or something now, and refs don't give a yellow. We got players sent off. That could cost us a Premier League title.
Yeah, that was... I just don't even want to think about it.
It's terrible, and it's really, really frustrating. And I mean, the big and important thing for me... Arsenal won the match.
Yeah, which 3 important points, and
we had to. If we lost this match, it would be huge.
And who scored?
Ricardo Calafiore!
What a goal!
What a finish, man! I freaking love him.
This guy is just. And you know what? I've read a lot of online saying Calafiore was the wrong signing for Arsenal. This guy has done nothing. I'm sorry. But what the hell are you talking about?
Honestly,
he's been amazing.
One of the things with Arsenal is you've got to not listen to the fans online.
I know.
Half of them,
but I'm just saying, like, don't touch my boy. Like he.
And this coming from an Arsenal fan online. Don't listen to Arsenal fans online. But it's one of those, like, a lot of the ones that just tweet out and everything aren't actually representative of the community.
The community, yeah, they're just like.
It's like they're all
like to cause.
Yeah. They were all slagging off Kai Havertz and saying,
for
he's crap,
reason.
we don't want him and everything, like, not even that long ago. And then he comes out at the Emirates and all of the fans in the stadium, huge round of applause and cheers as soon as Kai Havertz's name got read out. So it's like, clearly the fans in the stadium and the ones who actually support the club are very different from the ones online who support the club. But Ricardo Calafiore's goal, what a goal. Fantastic. And it's very interesting, and it gives a headache for that left-back position. Because there's Lewis Skelly, who's phenomenal, but then there's also Calafiore, who's phenomenal. I want that for every position. Every position. Imagine we had that as striker. Just a backup for each position. Nothing crazy. I'm just a little shy.
But yeah, I love Calafiore, and you just couldn't choose between the two of them, but Calafiori
also
all day.
Something which I found very interesting in this match, which I haven't actually mentioned to you. Ethan Nwaneri is not a midfielder. He played in midfield in this match. He played midfield this match and he got subbed off when Lewis Skelly got sent off. He should not. He should not have been there. Like, he was not good in midfield. He can't do it. Which then brings us a different problem. Or at least in this match, he didn't show anything like that. Because in the Champions League, he got man of the match. He was phenomenal in it. And he's phenomenal when he's played out on that wing. If he's a winger, he has to play as a backup then. Which is no shame in it, but will he want that somewhere else? At the moment, he'll have to play on the left. Will he be better playing on the left? Because he left-footed, similar to Saka. He bends it, you know what I mean? Similar to Saka. He can't do that if he's on the right. But great backup for Saka if he's okay with being a backup for a bit. A bit of a... You can rest Saka a bit. You've still got a great player who can come off the bench. But interesting. Something I noticed. But the red for Wolves, quickly. I'm sorry. It's not 2 yellows. It's a yellow and a red. Get a life, Michael Oliver. And the online abuse, how are they sending the abuse to you? Because you don't have social media. So is it just what people are saying online? Because I would say that online if I was active on Twitter. It doesn't mean I want to do it or I'm going to do it.
He would. But anyway, let's give the round of applause to Calafiori.
100%.
Because he deserves it.
I love that boy. Italian Stallion. That one goes out to all my Italian boys. My main boy, Giorgio. Valerio. Marchisio. He didn't even know this thing happens.
That's it.
Yeah, my 3 Italian boys. Honestly, it's weird. My life. I was friends with Marchisio. Marco, but...
Yeah, I know.
And then stopped being friends with him. Valerio popped up. Well, Valerio popped up while he was still there, to be fair. And then you popped up. I've always had an Italian in my life. Well, from like a... Why? Why?
Well, you're going to leave. Move to Finland.
Yes. Potentially, but...
No.
That'll be a long time away. A long time away. That means me and Georgia have a lot of fun left. A lot of football to... a lot of football to watch.
But let's talk about the next match. Man City, Chelsea. Makes me angry, man.
Yeah. And I mean,
it makes me, like, honestly...
I just want to say...
I am pissed.
I'm scared.
At this. I'm not scared. I'm just angry.
Let's just... I want to show you why.
I know what you're going to show me is that in the previous seasons they've always done this. They just go down and then after Christmas they go back up and they win the league.
Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool. They could just climb this table like a 5-foot man.
No,
hooking up with a 7-foot woman. He's climbing that. Chalk grip and everything. He's doing whatever he can, and I'm scared. I'm scared. But the thing is with City is obviously we saw in the Champions League, which reeled in my worries a little bit, is
it's more matches for them to play.
More matches, a lot more matches, which hopefully means some of their players get injured.
Yeah.
Rodri's not enough. Clearly.
If Haaland gets injured, if Haaland gets injured, that's the end.
They've won the league without a striker before, though. I don't know who I'd want to get injured, but somebody please.
Walker is gone.
Yeah, Walker's gone. They're having to play Mateus Nunes. Right back. What? They need a right back. I'm sorry. Are they not looking to sign one in the transfer window? Or are they just thinking he's good enough? I've not heard anything about a right back. They've got centre backs, all that sort of stuff. It's just weird. It feels weird. But, hey, it's one of those. City.
Is De Bruyne back? Yes, he is back.
Yeah, but he's...
And that's the thing, like...
He's coming in as a sub each match, or like getting subbed off.
Yeah, because you need to give him time to, adjust and everything.
But realistically, this is going to be De Bruyne's last season at City. He's gone after this.
He's gone to Saudi Arabia.
So why not just make him use his legs a bit? I know that's a terrible thing to say, and if it was my club, I wouldn't be saying that. But if I'm a manager, I couldn't care. I'm there like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but you're still talking about Guardiola. Like,
I know. If it was Jose Mourinho, he'd be like, yeah, good, you're gone at the end of the season. Doesn't matter if you're injured.
He just doesn't give a shit.
It really doesn't. I love it. I saw a clip last night before I went to bed, and it was when he was at Spurs and he was talking to Tanguy Ndombele, because he was the like record signing for Spurs at the time, and that wasn't Ndombele. It was what's it called? He was talking to Danny Rose. Danny Rose came in. He was like, "I'm not playing right back and everything." He was like, "You trained really well for me, so I played you against Liverpool. Big match, and you were terrible. I play Tanguy right back next match, phenomenal. You think I'm going to start you?" Sort of thing.
Yeah,
I just love how ballsy he is.
Good.
He's brutal with it, but he's giving him success. Who's to judge?
But yeah, so something else that Jose Mourinho did was like when he used to manage Inter Milan and they were in a really important Champions League match, and Balotelli got a yellow and they had all the strikers out, and he spent 14 of the 15 minutes of half time just speaking to Balotelli and saying, "Look, you're the only one that I can use.
Don't get
Please
sent
don't
off."
get sent off." 1 minute after he got sent off. It's clashing with different players. He ruined Dele Alli, in my opinion. But
no, Dele Alli ruined Dele Alli. And people...
He was part of... Jose Mourinho was part of the reason, not the full reason. Dele Alli was a bit... And he's going back to Italy to play, which I'm happy about.
I'd be happy about it, but I think a lot of people, they romanticise Dele Alli. He was nowhere near as good as people make it out to be. Some people said the Bellingham before Bellingham. He is not fit to lace Bellingham's boots now.
I never romanticised him.
I hated him because I was an Arsenal supporter, but of course I would. He was a Tottenham boy through and through, but he was still a very good player and he played really well for Spurs. But
even for England, when
even just before Jose Mourinho came in, he's already started dipping in form. He wasn't playing as well, and that's because Dele Alli was a good talent, but. And I don't know about the hard work behind the scenes, but based off what Jose Mourinho said is that hard work wasn't there, and that has to be accompanied by whatever you put in the first place. It has to be a duo, you know what I mean? You're not going in solos on Fortnite, you're going into duos. You need that accompaniment of hard work and talent to get anywhere in football. But he's definitely putting that hard work in now, so I'm really happy for him. But enough about Dele Alli. Chelsea.
I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. That the reason why I'm angry is not that Man City won, because, well, you would expect it, but they're playing so poorly.
I just want to say... I'll let you.
It's just... guys, I would expect so much more from you. You've had an amazing start of the season. Why are you stopping? Why are you slowing down? No reason. Cole Palmer, do something. Just do something.
They should have you doing the pre-match team talk from now on. Chelsea, what are you doing? Cole Palmer, what are you doing?
Huh?
Chips?
You know the guy that was on TikTok when they had the terrible season, and he was like, "I don't understand why people are slagging off Chelsea," and then you scroll down and it's I can't do it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's kind of it's starting again. I
mean, it's one of those. I look at Chelsea this season and I think if Chelsea at the start of the season had this result, nobody would be complaining. And I think some people will say that as oh yeah, you've got to go easy on Chelsea, you've got to understand. But and obviously I'm always a bit biased when it comes to Arsenal, so when it happens with Arsenal I'm always trying to be like, guys, come on. But from an outsider's perspective, and this is what the perspective should be, is you set your own standards. Chelsea have set the standards of being a phenomenal team in England and one which should be finishing in that top 4. Why the hell are you going to settle for 3-1 against Man City? You should never be settling for that. Your players should be up for the fight, up for the battle. But it seems like a lot of them have kind of just... And it doesn't seem like they were doing it with grit, but they were doing it more of a... Okay... sort of vibe. And it's no, I want to see that grit. I want to see you fight and dig in. Obviously, I don't actually want to see that with Chelsea. But if I'm a Chelsea supporter, if I'm a Chelsea, any member of staff, that's what I want to see. I want to see a bit of grit. You know what? Just somebody 2-foot somebody. Just stop Man City playing with the ball for just a little bit. And don't do it right outside the box where they can score a free kick. But do it a bit back. You know what I mean? Just 2-foot somebody. Get it.
And they scored first. And you were oh, yeah, actually, something's happening there.
Oh, but to be fair, that was from City's centre-back. He looked like a fish out of water. He was woeful in that first little bit. I felt so bad for him because he's coming from the French league, RC Lens, and he gets a fair few reds.
What's his name
again? I can't remember. He's Uzbekistanian, isn't he? Is he from Uzbekistan? Yes! Yes, I was right!
You know your geography.
Yeah! But he came from RC Lens. He was doing well over there, but the French league is very different from the Premier League.
Look, player fact. Coutinho made an error that led to a goal for Chelsea.
Yeah. and it was one of those, because essentially the ball came up. It was him and...
No, I've seen it.
Yeah. But for the viewers, at least, the ball came up. He didn't go for the header. Then he saw the ball behind him and he tries to header it towards the keeper, but it doesn't have enough energy on it whatsoever. That's just nerves. That is what that is.
And he would expect that to happen. Like, it's your first match in a different league. You are only 20 years old. Like, the pressure builds
and that's what I think is bad. Because John Stones was on the bench and he played for after the 50th minute. Why not play John Stones first?
And then put him in.
Because that's nicer, because then he's seen the tempo. He's seeing that there's not as much pressure, unless it's like 1-1 or 0-0. Then there might be that there, don't get me wrong. But it takes that off of him at the start. And I think that's really poor management from Pep. Potentially him just being too excited at, oh, we've got a new player, please, we need him. But one of their new players turned up, and if he can stay on side, if he can do that, he'll be great.
Who?
Marmoush. Their forward player.
Marmoush.
He is good. Like, he was just like so fast, so direct, and he scored like 2 or 3 offside goals.
Egypt is having so many good players.
I saw a meme, but it's true. It popped up and City announced him saying, our Egyptian prince has arrived. And a Liverpool supporter commented on it saying, oh yeah, because we've got the king.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
But that's
you
the
ain't
thing,
wrong.
like, at the moment, like, African football in general,
it's good.
It's just producing so many good players. And I reckon then, give it 2-3 World Cups.
I hope so.
One of the African teams is going to win it. Morocco, Egypt.
Yeah. And I mean, and the really good thing is players like Marmoush choosing to represent an African.
Yes.
That's so good, because when one player does it, like how Salah does, he represents Egypt, and I don't think there's anyone else he could represent, but he represents Egypt and he plays well for them, and that gives other Egyptians who might live in a country like France or Germany or something like that.
Yeah, because like you look at teams like England or France. Yeah, they're all players from somewhere else that decide to play. Well, I completely agree with them. Like, they grew up in that country and everything.
They
but
definitely
if you
can
want
choose,
that awareness for where you actually your roots are from.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, there's a lot of players out there who choose that clearly for other reasons. Like, look at what's it called, Mesut Ozil. He said after his career very openly, he won a World Cup with Germany, and he said, I wish I played for Turkey instead. And you have other players like Patrice Evra. I'm pretty sure he said he wishes he represented his, like, the country which his family came from Africa, because he was like, I didn't win anything anyway. And I mean, it's one of those, it's really good to see players like this coming through from African countries playing really well, and that inspires other young African players to say, you know what,
I mean, Morocco,
I'm going to represent them.
Morocco got 4th in the World Cup latest
really
World Cup.
Really well. And
they have players like Hakimi and who else plays for Morocco? Like,
you can't think of anyone. Amrabat. He had a great World Cup, to be fair, but he was woeful for United. But it's one of those. It's really, really good to see that, because for me, one of the fundamental things in football is for everyone. It doesn't matter what you are, a football at your feet, or at whatever you got there.
That should be every sport.
I know.
Not just football.
But football's my passion. You know that.
Oh, yeah. If you guys didn't understand, Daniel loves football.
And it's just, I want this. I want to see it consistently. And I'm very happy that these African clubs are now not stepping up to the plate, because we've had phenomenal African players for so long now, and I'm not going to be ignorant on that matter. But it's nice to see that we're getting more representing their country at top level football. I'm very, very happy with it. Very, very happy.
So what, we're giving the round of applause?
You know what? I'm not going to give it to Haaland.
I was going to say, let's
jog on. You know what? I've given him a lot of flack. And I it's one of those. He started some goal scoring form. He's been playing better. I'm going to give it to Phil Foden, personally, because everyone's been pointing out he's been nowhere near it this season, which he hasn't been. But fair play. Let's go. See.
Let's look at matches from Sunday. Let's start with Tottenham, Leicester.
And by the way, we're skipping Crystal Palace Brentford because it's one of those, like, it was a nice match to watch. I watched it, but zing, zing. So what? Anyway, that was unreal. That's not scripted or rehearsed, by the way. this is just This is just a football app. I was going to say the app, but if you want us to say it on this 20 views podcast, sponsor us. give us like a tenner and we'll do it.
Tottenham Leicester.
It's happened again.
Yes.
Tottenham Hotspur. It's happened again. And I went into this match, and like a lot of Arsenal fans, because I love a good hate watch, I was like, I can see this happening. I can see it happening. I was so sad that this wasn't on the television. I would have watched this instead of the Crystal Palace Brentford. But I was so happy.
I saw the highlights, and especially what Vardy did.
That's the second time he's done it to them. Second time he's done it to him this season. Second time he's scored against them.
He literally is.
I love it.
If I would choose a top 5 players of all time, Vardy will be there.
Oh, just off of who you like.
Yeah. Like my top 5.
Yeah, I get you.
Players. Like,
he's great.
So good.
He
it's not just a good player. I reckon that if you go to the pub with him for a pint, he will be like your best mate. Just so funny to be around.
I don't know about that personally, but I think it's one of those. He's so old. This sounds like such an insult, but he's still doing it. I mean, Mo Farah and Arsene Wenger, they had a little interview where they were chatting with each other, and they even brought it up. They went like, "How good is he that he's still scoring goals in the Prem at this age? Like, what a player! Like, he's done so well." And I'm not being funny, but if Leicester does not build a statue of him the moment he retires, they need to assess themselves. They need to assess themselves, very much so.
Yeah.
That statue has to be built. But Tottenham, it's again. Richarlison scores that goal. You go 1-0.
Can you imagine they go down?
Because they're getting closer. Everton
Look
could,
at that.
By the end of this week, they could be beneath Everton. Everton are 1 point behind them with a game in hand. If they beat Liverpool midweek, I mean, they could go 5 points clear.
It's amazing. It's just amazing.
There's no chance they're going down, though. They're on 24 points. They're on 24.
What if Wolves just wake up and they say, do you know what?
But you need Wolves and Leicester to do it. You need 2 of those bottom 4 teams.
And yet
at the
Leicester
moment.
has won a match against them.
I know, but Leicester doesn't beat anyone else. That's the issue. That's the real. But you look at those 3 of the bottom 4, obviously bar Southampton because they're on 6 points. They're not going to get anything. But those other teams, they definitely could. But
shocking, man.
We would need to see even worse form from Spurs, and I think they would sack Big Ange before that happens. But the main thing with Big Ange, and I've seen this because I'm a hate watcher, so I've been looking at a lot of the.
You said it a couple of times.
Only a couple, but I've been looking at the Tottenham fan channels, and a lot of them are quick to point out and are very astute at this point out because I didn't notice it because I'm not a Tottenham supporter, so I wouldn't know, and I never will be, so I will never know. But what they said was they've had players who've came back from injury, like I think it was Van de Ven, Romero, like these players who came back just from injury, like maybe give them a week or two, slowly bring them back in, and you just put them straight in the deep end, and they got injured straight away. And it's
classic.
You've got to look at it and you've got to say it's Big Ange's fault in that case because he plays a very demanding system. He had a lot of injuries at Celtic too because of his system and the way in which they played. So you've got to look at it and you've got to say, at what point do we say Ange is responsible
for our decline? And it's just
as an Arsenal supporter, I would love for him to stay because he brings what other people, not an Arsenal fan, would describe as entertaining football. But it's good for an Arsenal fan because you don't know who's going to win. There's going to be 4 or 5 goals scored each match, but don't know which way it's going to go. And I mean, the big thing with Tottenham, which I'd point out, is we look at the table and look at the goal difference of the teams around them. -4, -4, -16. Then you get Tottenham on +9. Then you get -9, -24, -20, -26, -36. Like, all these teams in and around them have negative goal difference. So it's like they're scoring a lot when they win, but they just need to be, their heads need to be screwed on more. And I know it's very difficult when you've got these young players in starting for you because you've got so many injuries, but you've got to learn quick.
Yeah.
You've got to instill that in them that, hey, you've got to calm down here. And you've got to have somebody there, potentially even on the pitch, just give them a slap around the back of the head. Just to, like, because they've got some young players in there, and I will be very honest with this. Archie Gray's done a great job this season playing at centre-back. He's not a centre-back and he's played well for him. But somebody needs to, at some point, give some of these players just a little, mate, what are you doing? Wise up a bit. We're playing against Leicester here. You know what I mean? Just simple things like that. Like, come on, let's show them the levels to it. But I think it's the history of Tottenham. It's the atmosphere of the club. They're going to be feeling sorry for themselves, and this is the time to capitalise upon that. Like, who is Spurs playing next? Oh, yeah, they've got the Europa League tonight. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? They're playing against Brentford at the weekend. Rough.
They're going to lose. They're going to lose.
Rough. Like, Brentford could beat Brentford 100%. Will they? I don't think so. I don't think so. And it's one of those. You've got players like James Maddison who called in sick for that match. Oh, he's not injured. I think he might have got like a bit injured or something like that. But that wasn't when he was at the club. That was when he was at home. What are you doing, your missus? That's so strenuous. You know what I mean? Chill out.
You don't want to ask him.
The way he said it. Oh, man, I love it. But it's one of those. You've got to take that responsibility. And when you're a player like James Maddison is for Tottenham, you've got to say, I don't care. I'm going to be there for my club.
But yeah, it's a bit rough. But let's give a round of applause to Vardy because if
he's having a party. Jamie Vardy's having a party. But what were you saying? I cut you off.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Fair game.
Said I love Vardy, and that's it.
Oh,
love him. I will have him at home as a, souvenir.
Just Jamie Vardy on your coffee table.
Yeah.
Just real life Jamie Vardy, just there drinking a Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. Aston Villa West Ham, really quickly. It was quite a boring match. Not gonna lie.
No, I enjoyed it. I think it was a good back and forth. First half was definitely more Villa. Villa were really pushing into it and really playing well. Just dominant, really. They should have scored more when they had the opportunity to. And then second half, West Ham came out and kicked. They really did. And
yeah, but at the same time, just like I was there watching it, and I was like, I wish something more happened. Like,
I would love there to be a winner or something like that. But
it went.
I enjoyed
nowhere.
it. I want to say something though. With Graham Potter, when I saw him come into West Ham, I was like, decent, but could go either way. Who knows? And then I heard some West Ham fans talking really positively about him, and I was like, oh, okay, like sure, pal.
To be fair, for the the position the position of West Ham is in right now, he just came in and he won against a team that is top of the league, playing Champions League with way better quality players than West Ham. So fair play to him. He's a great manager. So.
He is a good manager. I'm not going to contend that, but I wasn't sure if he was the right choice for West Ham after this match because I've not watched too much West Ham really. I've seen little bits and bobs. Pretty much like this season, a lot of the time it's been like if I've had to do something else during one of the matches, that's the match I've chosen to do it in. You know what I mean? Like it's true. They're just boring, and I think I really, really enjoy the way that they play now. It's very interesting, and I mean, once they do hopefully get a striker back fit, let's actually check because I like.
Has not played.
When is everyone back? Yeah, so Fulkrug's back early February. Obviously Antonio, due to the crash, unfortunately, broke his leg, so hopefully he has a very speedy recovery. But you've got some attacking players. You've got Bowen who's injured, Somerville. I really like Somerville. But when you get those players back, I want to see what you can do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can he cook?
So this season is already gone. They can't achieve much, but next season actually,
yeah,
they could.
I mean, it's one of those. For West Ham, the most that they're going to achieve is European football, solidifying themselves there, keeping themselves as a solid team, because usually it's either been they've been okay in Europe and they've been woeful in the Prem, or they've been woeful in Europe and okay in the Prem. So it's like they've got to pick. They've either just got to solidify as one or solidify as both.
Yeah. And
hopefully it's both for their sake, because good team.
Well, we're giving the round of applause then.
I don't know. I know Boubacar Kamara got man of the match.
Yeah, let's give it to him.
Let's just give it to him, yeah.
Again, very quickly, Fulham, Man United.
Oh, it's so annoying, mate. I wanted Fulham to batter Man United. Hate watch. Failed. It really did. I got so sad.
I didn't watch that match. I only watched the highlights. And...
I mean, this is something which a lot of people have pointed out, but I want to point out too. Man United are better away from home at the moment.
Why is that? Is it because the fans are getting too frustrated at them?
I love that you're asking me this. It's amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. But the reason why is because away from home, they can just Brexit ball, sit at the back, defend deep, play for the counter-attack, because Man United are set up like a counter-attacking team. That's what has been happening for years and years now. Ten Hag didn't like doing it. Amorim, I don't think, likes doing it. But when they play at home, it's kind of on you to be the dominant team, which is why they struggle so much at home, because it's like, no, like we can't just sit in deep. We have to turn up. There's so many fans here. We have to do something. There's that level of expectation. Whereas away at Craven Cottage, they can sit deep and then wait for a last-minute goal. I mean, even a draw against Fulham would have been an okay result for Man United at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It was just annoying, like the fact that I saw that they won. And I'm like,
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse. Like, obviously, if you're a United supporter, you love it, but everyone else hates Man United. Like, because they're just... I mean, this is probably how people feel about some Arsenal fans, to be fair, but they're just so gobby. You can't go a day without hearing a Man United fan just yappering on saying, oh yeah, Amad Diallo, he's world class. No, he's not. He plays for a mid-table club and is the best player there. Is Chris Wood world class? He's way better than Amad Diallo. Is Callum Hudson-Odoi? No. Not Amad Diallo. Is friggin' Anthony Elanga. Anthony Elanga's better than Amad Diallo at the moment. But yeah, probably. That's that little bit of a rant of Man United fans.
Yeah. Well, we're giving the round of applause. No one.
I'd love to give it to nobody, but it has to be Lisandro Martinez. He scored the goal. He was good in defence.
Man of the match.
Yeah.
We should have just done. Let's give him one applause instead of a round of applause.
I gave him a very slow, unenthusiastic clap. I feel like I'm happy with that.
Thank you again for tuning in.
Wait. Transfers.
Ooh.
Check your phone, see if there's any news or any updates first.
Fabrizio Romano.
What has he told us? But obviously, of yesterday, we heard the news of there'd been a bid for Ollie Watkins. Me and Giorgio have different opinions. You want to look at his story, mate?
Chelsea keep working on outgoings as Aston
Villa.
Yeah,
carry on next.
Saudi.
Next.
Don't care.
Next.
Don't care. Marcus Rashford has been left out. Yep.
Steven Gerrard gone. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Tobias
Leverkusen, okay. So, yeah. Arsenal sent a bid to Aston Villa for Ollie Watkins.
One second. I just want to... Yeah, you carry on speaking.
Yeah, so what we were talking about yesterday with Daniel, I am actually quite happy about Ollie Watkins coming to Arsenal. Only because, well, Arsenal needs a striker, and Ollie Watkins, as we said earlier, he's fast, he can score the goals. And where is that lack of being offensive from the back? Like if Calafiori can't play, Ollie Watkins can score goals in regards of Arsenal. Why do you think that Ollie Watkins is okay, but you would prefer somebody else? That's what you said.
I mean, just carry on looking through for me. Let me know if there's anything Arsenal related. So I've already seen this. This is all from yesterday anyway, so I'm up to date with that sort of stuff. The reason why I'm not too keen on Ollie Watkins, obviously I'll take him in a heartbeat at the moment over anyone we've got, is we're going to be paying more than 60 million for him, which takes away from our other budgets and everything, for a player who's 29 years old. So he's currently in his prime / towards the end of his prime. He's fast, but that goes. It does. It doesn't stay around forever, that speed. And I think, why not spend more money for somebody else? Why not go to Napoli and say, hey, terminate that loan deal with Victor Osimhen. We'll take him. Why not? That's something which I don't understand fully. Because I know that that's what I'd be looking for. I want a younger striker who's potentially better than Ollie Watkins, no disrespect. Because if we sign him, he is our striker for the next at least 3 years we need. So if we're spending that much money, I want perhaps a more established player. But I understand, obviously, we can't get an Isak, which I have positives and negatives for Isak too, because he's been injured a lot when he's played.
You don't necessarily want him, even if he's a good player. Like those injuries,
exactly.
Especially with all the injuries that are happening in Arsenal. No, we don't want him.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. I know Isak hasn't really been injured much this season, but still, it's a big one for me. So it's who do we pick? Where do we get them from? Victor Gyökeres, according to Fabrizio Romano, he's not focused on Arsenal. Arsenal aren't focused on him. So you've got to ask yourself, like, okay, who's prepared to come to Arsenal at the same time as we want to grab him. So I look at a Victor Osimhen. I'm sure he would come. If we said, yeah, we'll pay the money, we'll get you.
I love him. He was
deal.
Amazing at Napoli, and he's just he's mashing it in Turkey anyway. So
I've said it to a lot of people, and one of my big turning points was, I think it was last season in the Champions League, Barcelona against Napoli. Barcelona were dominating the entire match. He got one chance and scored, and that's what we need. A player who, if all match, we're just getting ploughed. Like, let's say we're really struggling. We've got some injuries or whatever. We're struggling to get some passes together because we're playing like just fourth choice players. Somebody who, when the ball lands at his feet, bang, goal. You should know. Like, this guy, and it's one of those. He was too good to sub off in that match, even though he hardly touched the ball. He was too good. You'd like, hey, he can score with that goal, and that's the thing which Saka has too, which is why he never gets subbed off.
Your player's now injured, so
exactly. So it's like, I want someone like a Victor Osimhen, and I would love to get him. Don't get me wrong, but I trust whoever we get in. But I don't want us to buy a player just because, oh well, we need to, because if we don't, we won't win the league. We might not win the league even if we do sign him, and it'll cost us more in the future if we sign the wrong player. So I think a lot of Arsenal fans have to be a bit. You need to clock on a bit here. Like, there's bigger things to worry about, but the sooner we sign this player, the sooner we get them in training, and the more chance we have of having them playing against Man City. Yeah. Because nothing would be better than that player scoring against Man City. Have them as a sub, of course. Don't start them, but if they score against City, that's their career at Arsenal boosted massively. It's true though. True. Everyone will love them at that point, and then that means in the next matches, they can really kick on.
More confidence build, but yeah, I think that there's not been any other rumours or anything. It's just,
I mean, main thing I'd say for Villa is they're losing John Duran. They can't lose Ollie Watkins. Aston Villa by no means should accept any of our bids.
And if they do,
and it's one of those. If they do, like, of course, I'll take Ollie Watkins in and I'll love him while he's here. But you've got to look at it from that perspective of they've just sold to Saudi Arabia. Which, why is John Duran going to Saudi Arabia? They must be offering him so much money. It's ridiculous.
They did. It's
just like, come on, I'm not being funny, mate, but you're one of the top European striking prospects, and you've just ruined your career now. You have. And it's just such a shame. It's such a shame. I know he's playing alongside Cristiano Ronaldo or whatever, but come on, man. Come on. It's just
70
boring.
million.
Yeah, but I mean, offering actual John Duran like wages money must be huge. Yeah. It's just, it's sad to see. It really is. But they can't accept that bid for Ollie Watkins now. They've got one striker going. They cannot accept that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, Ollie Watkins, he's getting on with age. He looks younger than he is. He's the reverse Brian Mbeumo. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather us go and sign a Semenyo.
Yeah.
Even though Semenyo's different, because I feel like Semenyo's more versatile. He can play in more positions. He's younger. And at the very least, he's a great substitute appearance.
He looks like he's 40, but
he's like 24.
No, I know. I just said he looks like he's 40.
I don't think so. I think he looks older than he is, like by a couple of years or something. But yeah, he doesn't look 40 in my opinion. But differences. And I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the latter stage of the transfer window, because when this episode is coming out, who knows? Arsenal could have signed a striker. Arsenal could have said, no, we're not signing anyone. Who knows? There's loads of rumours going around. There's stuff about Nico Williams. I would take him. He's a winger, of course. He's somebody who I actually want for Arsenal at some point. But we'll see what happens, because it really will be an interesting end to the transfer window, regardless of what happens, because if nothing happens, that itself is a statement, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, but thank you guys for watching very much. We will see you next week. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with
Notifications on. Tell your pets about it. If your pet has any accounts, tell them to start watching it.
Cool. We will see you next week.
Yeah, have fun. Ta-ra.